Do you think women should find a husband and have children instead of going for a career first? I didn't look at you.
That's the advice one mom has for college girls. All right, Jeff, explain this.
You got some explaining to do, yeah.
I always do. Every day I have some explaining to do. Well, it's this woman who has explaining to do. Her name is Susan Patton. She's a graduate of Princeton University, and she's a mother, and she actually wrote a letter to the editor that was published in Princeton University's newspaper last year that went viral, and in that letter, she was giving women some advice, saying that they need to find husbands sooner rather than later. Specifically, they need to do that in college and have kids quickly. And now she's writing a book titled Marry Smart. She believes that there's a big problem in our society today, and it has to do with students being pushed in a direction that has more to do with career first rather than total satisfaction. Her take is college-age girls are more focused on moving forward and finding great success in their career rather than doing what is more important, which is finding a husband and having kids early on in life. Because she says what happens is those girls who do find success in their career reach their 30s and then they start hitting the panic button because their biological clock is ticking. They know they are aging and that their window of having healthy children and starting a family life starts to close, and then they are left with regret.
What I'm suggesting very specifically, and you understand that this letter was intended for a very small audience. It was the audience of women on Princeton's campus, because it happens to be my alma mater, and even more specifically, a subset of that group, those women who are actually interested in someday having a traditional family, marriage, and children.
She also writes, quote, "The years from age 22 to 35 will pass much more quickly than you can imagine. And if you're even able to conceive at age 35, yours will be considered a high-risk pregnancy. Don't delay having children until after you've established your career. That may be too late." Now, Patton has received a lot of hate mail. In fact, when this was published, she crashed the newspaper's server online because there was so much interest in this. She also said, quote, "Stop wasting your time dating men that you know are not good for you." That would be the bad guys, the crazy guys, and married men.
It's kind of like a contradiction, though. So she's saying, look at the long term on the one hand and think about the family and the kids, but don't look on the long term on the other hand and think about your career. You know, priorities are different from person to person.
Thank you.
Yeah.
To each its own.
I think she comes from this old-fashioned mindset that it should be the guys who find the success and the women who bear the children and stay at home, you know, which is something that was has long since changed from the 1940s and 50s.
Marriage and children aren't for everybody, too, and it's okay.
Right.
Just saying.
Wonder if she's got a daughter. We'll have to find that out.
Jeff, thank you, though.
Sure.